Happy Monday, and if it's not Monday, well, you're living in Monday now, so deal with it. Anyway, today I want to talk about World War II Vanguard and my wish list for the game. We've got some leaked information, nothing official yet. I just wanted to do kind of like my wish list. Like, you know when a little kid makes a wish list for their Christmas list and they mail it to Santa Claus and all that fun stuff? I'm doing that, but for World War II Vanguard, which is going to be the 2021 Call of Duty release in Q4 of this year. Let me know in the comment section what you guys want in your list. We can compare and contrast. So let's get into it. The very first thing I want, and the most important thing, not just for me, but for the Call of Duty community itself, is ranked and casual playlists should have separate skill-based matchmaking brackets. So if you're in a casual playlist, skill-based matchmaking isn't making your experience a living hell. So SBMM isn't unbearable. Sure, in ranked, crank the SBMM up. I'll face the people like 0.01% different from my skill level all day, every day. But in casual, I want to have a fun casual experience. I don't care if there's absolute bots in my lobbies, and I don't care if Optic Scump joins my lobby himself. I want a variety of different skilled players to fill that casual experience. And I think that's everyone's most important wish list item, or one of the most important. The next most important wish list is anti-cheat. I think that's kind of obvious. We all want anti-cheat in Warzone. Probably not going to happen, but I have some more World War II Vanguard related wish list stuff later on. But next up is I think this has already been confirmed, but I want World War II Vanguard to play on Modern Warfare 2019's engine, both sound and movement wise. But I want Cold War's color palette, because it's going to be a World War II game. I don't want a dull gray game. And with the color palette of Modern Warfare, if we saw a color palette like that for World War II in that time era, we would be playing on brown and gray maps all day, every day. So if we had the Modern Warfare engine with good graphics that Modern Warfare has, but the color palette of Cold War, perfect. And I think that's already been leaked, that it's on the Modern Warfare engine, and it's like a combination where it's the Modern Warfare engine but Cold War color palette. So that's going to be pretty good there, in my opinion. Gunsmith has to be interesting with cool weapons, interesting attachments, and believable attachments. Of course, we saw it within World War II, the original Call of Duty World War II, where they added like red dots and holographic sights. And technically in World War II, there weren't any of those at the time, but they made it realistic for the time era, even though like you had to suspend your disbelief a little bit. And I don't mind suspending my disbelief for a World War II Vanguard, but I just want something interesting. Lots of attachments in the Gunsmith, interesting attachments, cool weapons from the time era, preferably some of the ones that we haven't seen before. Of course, we'll probably see the PPSH in there and like the 1911 pistol in there and some of those more famous weapons from World War II, but maybe throw some prototypes in there that we saw in Battlefield 1, how we saw lots of weapons that fit the Battlefield 1 kind of time era and time frame, but they made it a little bit interesting for us. So I would be able to suspend my disbelief there as well. I want the game to be fairly balanced for the most part. Have some fun overpower things here and there, but not too overpowered, if you get the hang of what I'm saying. I want fun kill streaks. This means not score streaks unless they have a hybrid like Modern Warfare 3, where you basically had the score streak system, but if you planted a bomb, captured a flag, captured a domination location, or I guess, I don't know why I called it a location, a domination objective, or did something major objective wise, you got 1 kill counted towards your kill streak. So if you were on 4 kills and you needed 5 for a UAV, if you captured B flag, that would count as your 5th kill, even though it's technically not a kill. So I would like a hybrid system like that, but I don't want to see a score streak system, especially not something like Cold Wars. I want something more of that Modern Warfare 3 style, and I want specialists in the game. I want the specialist, perks, score streak, whatever you call it, in the game, where you can sacrifice your kill streaks for extra perks and make yourself a super soldier. I want party games, lots of fun modes within the games. I think a variety of modes at launch and a variety of maps at launch are basically needed, right? Like, the World War II Vanguard launch is going to seem very dull and not fun whatsoever if there isn't a large variety of stuff to do within the game. Something similar to like Cold War and Modern Warfare, where we got like 8-9 maps total and had 5-6 game modes to play. Gets pretty stale pretty fast, so hopefully they launch with tons of games, party game modes, gun game, infected, one in the chamber, all or nothing, those cool game modes in the game. I also want to see things like 12v12, or I guess classic ground war. I also want to see new ground war, which is like the Modern Warfare 2019 ground war, something combined arms assault like, where we have like larger maps and larger player counts, and it's kind of like a Battlefield experience and a Battlefield map, but with like the Call of Duty style. I don't want to see a Fireteam Dirty Bomb type mode release, but that's kind of, I think that's kind of like a Cold War one-off type thing just because of how unsuccessful it is. So yeah, just variety of content and good flow for maps as well. I want maps that flow well, good layouts. I don't want Modern Warfare 2019 styled maps. Now, if it was a map like Shoot House, perfect. Great map layout, good sightlines, everything. But if you see a map like Grozny Raid, it's just too convoluted. And I don't want strict 3-lane maps. I still want freedom of movement and be able to climb over objects and not have invisible barriers stop us from just going places that we could easily climb in the first place. Like if there's a barrel that we can't climb because there's an invisible barrier, boring, right? I want interesting map design. I want standard Call of Duty maps, not strictly 3 lanes, but kind of like that 3-lane style, maybe have some good flank routes. Just I want more of like an arcade Call of Duty type map. Also, for the mastery camo, I want it animated this year. Damascus, super underwhelming for me to unlock because it wasn't animated. Yes, it was the hardest mastery camo of all time to grind for, but it just wasn't worth it. So I would like a cool animated mastery camo. I know it's World War II era, so it's not super realistic for World War II, but I don't want to get like another chrome camo for your mastery camo. Also, I want the difficulty for the mastery camo to be in between Cold War and Modern Warfare, where I want it a little bit more challenging than Cold War, but a little bit less tedious than Modern Warfare. I want a smooth integration into Warzone, unlike Cold War. It should be easier this year because it's running on the Modern Warfare engine, right? So there should be no issues. Everything should be fully balanced. And if I'm being honest with you, if World War II Vanguard has an anti-cheat, they should move the Warzone launcher from the Modern Warfare launcher to the World War II Vanguard launcher or application. So if you want to play Warzone, you have to launch through World War II Vanguard. That way anti-cheat can be easily integrated. Hopefully that's what's going to happen. I mean, thinking about it, that's the best way to integrate anti-cheat at this point, because I mean, by the time World War II Vanguard will be out, there will be anti-cheat in that game, hopefully, and if there is, well, then that solves our anti-cheat issue. Also, I want a new Warzone map. Verdansk is cool, but it's getting super stale, and yeah, payload better be in there as well within Warzone, because that game mode just absolutely slaps. I want a good campaign in World War II Vanguard as well. If you guys played the World War II, like the original Call of Duty World War II campaign, you know it was a super stereotypical, boring World War II story with super forgettable characters and a super forgettable story. I want a really interesting campaign that covers different fronts of World War II. I don't just want like one single event covered. I don't want just the Pacific. I don't want just the European front. I want some cool niche stories told, and I know the COD campaign will only be 5 to 6 hours long, but I want to see some cool stuff in there. Maybe extend the campaign and make it a little bit longer too. Battlefield 1 had a great campaign because it covered a war that's been covered throughout history plenty of times and through media plenty of times, but because they had some interesting and niche fronts of the war covered, it made the campaign really interesting. And hopefully they have good character writing, good voice acting, and a good story told. Also, zombies. I think I want zombies in Call of Duty World War II. I want a better zombies DLC season. I honestly don't want Outbreak to return within World War II Vanguard. However, within World War II Vanguard, it would be cool to see a continuation from Treyarch zombies and then just have zombies come out in every single Call of Duty minus Modern Warfare 2 in 2022, but have Sledgehammer and Treyarch work on zombies at the same time. Have them work together. It already happened like that in Cold War, where Sledgehammer started the zombie story and Treyarch came and finished it and picked it up from where Sledgehammer left off before they got fired as a studio. But now that they're back, I think it would be cool to have 2 studios work on a single zombie mode and make a great story. And I think the off year for zombies will be during the Modern Warfare season, because I don't really want a Modern Warfare zombies. But yeah, and then for zombies, have a better DLC cycle with 4 actual DLC maps. Maybe have 2 maps on launch, similar to what we saw in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 2. I don't think we should get 4 maps on launch like Black Ops 4. I think that's just too much. even though during Black Ops 4 it was absolutely fine that we got 4 maps because the Ether story was developed so much. But because this new story doesn't have a lot of development, I feel like dumping 4 maps right at launch would just really mess up the story and how people are perceiving it so far. Anyway, that is my wish list for World War II. Leave a like if you guys did enjoy, dislike if you didn't. There's no hard feelings. Subscribe for more videos in the future. Social media links in the description below. I'm about to head out, and if there is one, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.